There's no conscious effort to do that. That, in fact, is something we consciously don't do, is return to the roots, because I think that's sort of creative death. You start going backwards. It's kind of just happenstance that it sounds like, or it has elements of earlier records. But we are still our AFI, so we're going to sound like what we did in some way in the past. There's that continuity, but yeah, we're always looking forward.
First thing that sprang to my mind is Candle 79 in New York City and listening to Pornography. One of my favorite records of all time, one of my favorite restaurants of all time, and one of my favorite cities of all time. All time, I have to qualify in case someone was thinking it was in some sort of out-of-time environment.
I would go to Noma in Copenhagen and listen to, let's say, Beatles' Revolver.
You know Pigeon Cook there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When looking back onto Answer That and Stay Fashionable, I can feel the same intention and the same sentiment that went into that record going into the record that we just released. When we started making music, we started making music out of a love for making music and wanting to be in a band and wanting to play music and wanting to perform to people and wanting to express ourselves with no concern of how people were going to take it, whether we would be accepted or whether we would be shunned. And we were both, and we were mostly shunned for a long time. But those intentions that were in that record are still the same that drive us today. And when you listen to any of our records, you can hear that essence, that spirit of who we are throughout the years. So in many ways, though, we were in a very different place artistically. We were also in a very similar place, philosophically and as far as inspiration goes. Jade was not in AFI at the time. However, he did. Did you sing on that record?
No, that was the only one I have not appeared on. So I'm definitely out of this question.
When we were writing the Blood record, we'd spent about a year writing 60 or so songs, and midway through the process, I recognized that the lyrics I was writing in many of the songs, within the lyrics, the word blood was reoccurring, and I noted that to Jade. And by the time we finished writing and we had amassed the album that you hear today, it seemed appropriate to refer to the record as the Blood record, because the themes that run throughout the record are well spoken of by that title. So there are themes of connection and misperceptions of connection and identity that we feel Blood references. In writing lyrics, there is an element of stream of consciousness to it, because I'm lucky I have been given the opportunity in AFI to express myself freely in my lyrics throughout the years, and so what you're getting is to be trite, a snapshot of what's going on with me personally in my perspective at any given point in my life by way of that record. And there's a curiosity to Blood in that it is very much so the aftermath of burials, and there's a wonder and questioning at the survival of this deconstructed aspect of life, and the concepts of identity and people's perceptions of each other and people's need for connection, and the misperceptions of those connections and misperceptions of others, and again, a greater deconstructionist element to the greater tone of the work. And that's unfortunately very telltale as far as the author goes. Our longevity is a result of many different things. I think first and foremost, our group desire to create music and the similar influences that we have really allows us to stay together.
And we don't party so much, which is the downfall of many a band. And we respect each other. We're living in this land submarine, and so you gotta respect people and respect people's space and stuff, and because little things can turn into big things, and so we've been able to navigate the treacherous human emotions and drama that happen in any band. Because, you know, musicians are assholes, and it's hard to keep a group of musicians together where they're not bickering and splitting apart because of creative differences, and somehow we've been able to avoid that. Part of it's, you know, he and I being the writing team, like we work very well together, and so usually it's the creative thing because everyone wants to think that they're the greatest writer or have the best songs, and that's what splits a lot of bands apart, and we don't have that between us, so.